Okay, we'll start off by checking the this here. I've set it at 29 volts and it's flicking on and off, which meaning that 29.3, 29.2, that's it. So I've set this to 29.2, which is the maximum that this can have and that can have. But that's charged to 3.6 something per cell. That's good. You would never normally get there. Anyway, right, so let's quickly go over what I've been up to. So, I've got my tank. Got an aquarium heater in it, which is like this one. This one actually worked, but because it got overheated once, because I didn't put an upstand in the bottom of this so that it could never go below a certain line. One day it did go before a certain line and it ended up getting too hot and burned, because they get very, very hot even though they've got a thermostat on that turns off at 34 degrees. Right then, so outlet down here, I fitted a pump. Pump arrived, that pump had knackered because I left it in the on position and it burnt the motor out. I don't think it should have been permanently protected, but anyway, there you go. I'm gonna have to put a thermostat and just wrap it around this, right, to make sure that can't get too hot, right, in case a part of the control system breaks down. So we come out of here, we come down, this, forget all this business, it did do something else. I went off of here, I went straight to the wall. Right, now it comes through here down to the pump, right. The flow switch doesn't do anything, right. No, it's bullshit. And it comes up, goes through, this is what I forgot to put in, right, goes through the check valve, goes up through the check valve, then everything past the check valve can get up to a certain pressure. I've got a pressure switch, right? This pump, I didn't think it was going to be able to develop enough pressure to, this is a 1.7, 1 bar bottom, 1.7 high. This here, you can let water out of there and it doesn't affect this lot. Because you're not opening a tap inside the house, right? This water can just flood out, right? This lot will stay. Clunk, everything past this point will just stay in the pipe. So we've got that there. I've stuck this on, that works, as you'll see, right, goes along here and goes through the wall. It's the second pipe down, right? It goes through the wall and meets the shower. And this here keeps coming out. That's how much force is coming from the well pump that's feeding the water to this whole system, right? It keeps coming off there. What I need to do is fit one of these type of things into here to take the pressure, right, something like that. So right, come in, let's see it working. Right, so I've had some trouble with this, I'm telling you. Right, so shower, you'll notice it won't come on full power straight away because that tube, that tube there, the expansion tube, or whatever you want to call it, the buffer, that is letting go first. So the pump hasn't come on. Just letting that pressure out that's built up. Pressure switch is made. That's it now. That's enough. Because I'm just going to take water. That's not very good. I'm going to have to adjust the pressure switch. See, it's just coming on again like that. I need to get that pressure switch just right. Right, so it must be getting up to a certain pressure and switching off. I'll try out that pressure switch. Yeah, so that's it. So then this water will already be at 36 degrees from that tank, right? And that's only me who'll use this. That's only me, right? The other lot will be doing that. Filling up from that water, filling the bucket for themselves. And there we go. And then this then, if that was at 36 degrees there, which is normally every time I come in here, you know what I mean? But then I can turn it down to 48. But I've only got to go up 11 degrees. It's like 5 amps rather than the 20 odd amps that I'm paying at the moment. Right, anyway, that's the situation. I've got to play with that bloody pressure switch. I may have to buy a pressure switch that's lower. All I need to do is build pressure. As soon as some pressure is built in the pipe, it can turn off. Oh, there you go. Someone's just died. Well, yeah, they have died. They died last. I do believe they died last night. because there's a tannoy. There was a tannoy announcement. So what that's about, I don't know. I wonder if you just lose a bit of water, does that help it? Yeah, I've got to go and play with that. It's obviously reaching the cutout. Yeah. Yeah, died last night, and there was a tannoy announcement like they have in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I thought, what's going on? Have we gone to war with China or something, or with Cambodia? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to go and play with that pressure switch. They might as well stay with me on the journey as I come round. So, it reached a higher pressure, so I need to go round to the plus side. Oh, what I don't want to do is I want it to turn off as well. It's running now. Okay, well, so it's run for a certain period of time. It's obviously reaching the cutout pressure, right? So that's good that at least I was able to turn it up, right? And then we've got to have it where it goes down. Because there's no cut off and cut out, it's just a switch. The problem we've got there, which might be an actual problem, which is I might not be able to fix, is that's got a 1 bar, that's got a 0.7 bar diff. That's a cut out at 1 bar, cut on at 1 bar. Yeah, cut out at 1.7. But you know what I mean? That's what it came as. Right? So I turn off. So turn that off. Right? Because it comes as 1.7 off, 1 bar on. So it means it's got a 0.7 diff built in. Right? Well, I can change the cut on and cut off. Right, yep. So that's that. Hopefully that's that. As I say, my only problem as well, another problem is this. That filler there, what ends up happening, right, is at night, unless I can put a solenoid, well, this is what I'm going to have to do. Another 250 baht, right? What I need to do is have a solenoid here with a timer on. Because what's happening is, that's cool water. I can feel that's cool. That's good. That's coming from, this water here is coming from this tank, right? Yeah, it doesn't come from the well pump. The well pump is this one, right? Which at the moment is filling this tank up, right? A bit dirty, but, you know. And it's funny, you could say, yeah, I just use well water. Yeah, know what? Yeah, with us, right? The well water is too powerful to go through things like shower heads, cisterns, that kind of stuff. You can't. You've got to have a smaller pump like that. Now, well, you can see how this works here while you're here. Right, so you can see when the buoyancy of this one here, when that one and that one, you'll see now, bump, that's it. You just saw it, right? There was just enough water was lifted that up. It's heavy, but it's got buoyancy because of it. Obviously, it's big. You know what I mean? And then it lifts up, and both of them cut the switch out together. And inside here, you can see that I had to grease the inside because we had for months and months and months since I got this switch, the internal workings of that flip-flop switch, right, would do things like stick. But this tank was just out on shit ground. It wasn't straight, and like I thought that was a problem. It wasn't. The problem was that it what did it do? It was getting rusty inside, right? So there was rust on the inside of it. That's a filter I'm going to be fitting at some point on the outlet of this. So all this shitty water, it don't matter because it'll get caught in this filter. Obviously, it's not having a lid on that's caused this. I mean, but before I used to have to have the lid off because I wanted to play with stuff. So what you got here, look, and I haven't been electrocuted, which is a good thing. Right here is a 240 volt switch. So basically, if that ever goes down too low, see in my hand, if it ever goes down to the bottom, it means there's no water. That will stop the pump. Right, that pump is off. That the pump turns on and turns off with this pressure switch here, which is in a right shitty state. Right, that needs changing. I want to, yeah, I might change it for some kind of electronic item or something like that. You can buy them, the electronic ones, but you get them when you put them. They're electronic and they're an actual valve in the system. So you sort of screw them down to the pressure that you want, and it won't go above it. So it's the pressure regulator, and it will turn on and turn off. And they're not the most money. They're not the most amount of money in the world. They're affordable. Yeah. So that controls the pump, and this controls the solenoid. Right. So if that solenoid opens when both of those weights bump are both together going down into an empty tank, boom, it comes out, and then it switches off, as you saw. Right, but then off of the outgoing feed of this tank, so coming off that small pump, that goes out and feeds the house, the cistern, water over there for washing up and things like that. And then what I decided to do, because I thought I've got to fill this tank, right, I have got to give it a water feed. But the problem I've got now is that when you use this tank, this tank, as soon as the water level drops a bit, which is good, it gives me a head of water, right? But I don't need. I could probably do with half a head, and also it's diluting my warm water that I'm making by my heater at the bottom, right? So what I want to do really is get this all the way down to the bottom, a day's worth of hot water, and then on the night time, then at some point at night, let's say for it's 10 o'clock at night, there's a solenoid is energized. Right, and it goes all the way back. It's allowed to filter water back in again, and then that's filled back up to the top. And then because I'll have the heater always on, an inverter, whether it's day or night, then it doesn't matter that it just takes that 500 watts out of the battery overnight. Well, it'll be 500 watts an hour, won't it? It's quite a bit of, it's like a 500 watt heater. It's not a 3 kilowatt heater, but it's big enough over time, you know what I mean, to wear a battery down. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do, because it's annoying that I'm using a pump, right, but then I'm filling the tank. But then you might think when it's freezing cold and you're using that warm water, you know what I mean, you're getting 36 degree water through and you're only boosting it maybe up to 40 or something. You think, oh, this is all right, I'm only paying for like 2 amps. The shower's only pulling 2 amps instead of 24 amps, so then you think to yourself, the fact that it's being topped up all the time, I don't know. I'd like to at least have to stop the amount of startups. I could have a solenoid in here that as soon as I'll have to have some kind of control where as soon as that's it, yeah, the solenoid energizes, but then it de-energizes for something like you can get them. They're water sprayer solenoids. You can buy them. They're not too expensive. It energizes, but then it won't energize again because it's got a little timer built onto the head of the solenoid. When it gets down, and then you can say it stays off for 5 minutes, on for 5 minutes, off for 5 minutes, on for 5 minutes. And if it came on for 5 minutes, but this valve wasn't open because it was full, then you thought, that's what I need to do. Just get one of them solenoids, and basically it just clicks on for 10 minutes, off for 10 minutes. So when it'll just, the chances of it, and it'll just, and that's it, and it'll stay off for 10 minutes, and that's it. And if the next time it starts, it's 10 minutes again, the tank was full anyway, that's okay. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's a load of water chat. I think I've solved it. So we go in there now for the final look. I never thought it was going to be solved. I thought the pressure switch is not going to be, the pump's not going to develop enough pressure to be able to switch itself off, and it didn't. I had to take the lid off and adjust the pressure switch myself because it comes as a 1 to 1.7, right? And then, so not a lot of pressure now because it's just letting pressure out of that tall pipe, right? Which is great. And look how much pressure you get. And then I can hear that pump running. And then the other pumps just come on now. Like that's going to wreck the pressure switch. I might have to even just install a valve, and just for now, in the morning, I'll close that. I'll just let that. I'll control whether any water's allowed to go into that tank. And I'll just do it like every night. or something like that until I get the solenoid. That's it, that's worked. Can you hear anything outside? Over you. Right, final. This is the final look now. We're going to see, has the pump turned off? That's the important thing. I've got to have something where, if that pump is flowing, I can't have it where the pump runs on its own, out of control, because it's not thermally protected. Yeah, that's nice. It's warm, not hot. That's it. Done. Job done.